Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Roottrees Are Dead, where we're going through this reminders folder that says, basically, hey, there's a bunch of stuff you did in the first game. Some of it might be relevant. You should maybe look up stuff. So we're going to do that. Let's see. So we're basically just Googling things to see if anything comes up. So, like, for example, it mentions this Elias root tree bit, and so that comes up with a new version of the page, and I haven't really looked into this yet. Let's see. Do I have an Elias root tree tab in all of my notes? Yes. Okay. Let me go into what's happened since then. Okay, so the first Anderson Maple Farm only used to be a popular tourist attraction during the summer months when it had special tours. However, it has since seen an explosion of off-season business as some religious and political groups decided to visit to show support for Elias and Gwyneth's traditional values and financial rights. This rise in support was in turn followed by pickets from gay rights activists when some particularly inflammatory organizations made their pilgrimages. Amongst all this conflict, the farm has since shut down, seemingly indefinitely. The website says check back later, but no date is listed. The quotes from Bess Williams' book appear to have been... Okay, so let's look at the Anderson Maple Farm. See if that pulls up anything new. Okay, this is the same page. And Bess Williams okay, we're now going into the library that Bess Williams says this thing. Okay, so this library no longer exists. You find multiple libraries in the area. According to the website for the library system in Miami, the building where it once said is now the Miami Print Museum. Searching for the Miami Print Museum, you come across their website. It states that their hours and a list of exhibits. The building is very small, admission is free, and they only have room for a few different displays. One of the exhibits is their courtyard, which includes a fountain as well as a statue of an unknown author. Picture's been added to your evidence. Another is a printing press that was used by the Miami Sunday, now defunct newspaper. Last is the original thing of this. Okay, so let's just flag this here. Okay, what the... of an unknown author. So somehow... Okay, so my current theory is that the Beth that was mentioned here that they heard him arguing about was actually Bess. And this is going to be Williams. Haha! Because the Sam book mentioned that they were arguing out of Beth, but Beth and Bess sound pretty similar. Okay, so we got all of that locked in. Good. Okay, we finally got her sort of set up. Okay, so that is very sensible. Okay, we were in the middle of looking through this and my notes. Cuba by Cubans. Marcia Barbin. Okay, that doesn't help. Okay, so let's go back to Bess Williams. Mark this bit about the book. Go back here. Yeah, the Okadal Library. Okay. Okay, we have Lauren's 2 diaries. So that is, we're talking about Lauren Roottree. Let's see if we've got new information about those. Okay, so we do have, okay, let's see. Oops, I probably don't think I have a good place to put this. I'll just add a page for Lauren Roottree. And suffering from Alzheimer's. This minor backlash toward the reporter that tracked Lauren down because they were caught standing on a ladder and holding their camera over the privacy wall to take a photo of Lauren and her son Clark sitting on the park bench. Life between wars. I don't remember the name of the second book. Do we think the caviar thing is related to the fact, because the this whole bit here and the fact that he made this caviar flavor kind of makes me think that he had a child whose name started with the letter C, that he was referencing with the caviar, although that feels a little bit weird, but maybe it's correct. Because we did have that piece. They did emphasize that a lot. Okay, there are 5 presidents. Many were featured. Let's see. Okay, let's look at Stephanie Jones again. Okay, it seems that Brian Jones has been updating Stephanie Jones's campaign website. 2 new sections exist. The first is Baby Photo. There, you see a picture of the new family together in the hospital. According to the site, our daughter was named after her grandmother, which ended up being very fitting considering she was born the night before Christmas. The second is What's Next. So not much of substance right now, but it lists some small accomplishments and finishes with the rise in recent popularity, controversy surrounding my extended family. There'll be some extra attention. Stay tuned for announcements in the coming months and how I plan to use this publicity to help me accomplish better things. Okay, I think this is just going to give me, like, a free, thing, because the, there we go. Because this is going to be this piece over here. Which one? Okay, which names are we going to? Okay, we're not going to tell me. Okay. Which one is in the family? Between Brian and Stephanie Jones. Who remembers? There we go. Brian Jones. It's Stephanie Landon, who was the original one. Okay, so we are Landon Stephanie, and we are Brian Jones. There we go. She is a politician still. This is a baby. Oh, do we not know the name of their baby? So they were named after her grandmother, I think, where I was looking. Her daughter was named after her grandmother, which ended up being very fitting because she was born the night before Christmas. Okay, her grandmother. So that would be, I mean, presumably Stephanie Landon's mother. Carolyn. Or Carol, in this case. Okay, so that should be some more stuff that I think is all set up, but I'm not sure that that is going to get me anywhere super far beyond that, but hey, good. The newest Joneses. Not this page. The younger root trees were found by following a complex rabbit hole through a conspiracy site. Find a searchable web address for Chris Rafferty, Lawrence grandson Chris Raff, 75. Okay, this is more Chris Rafferty stuff. His prodigy site seems to have been discovered by the masses. Gone are the art pictures of his cousins. Instead, it's a list of questions that people keep emailing him. The most relevant ones are the following. Are you the son of Clark Rafferty? Yes, but I didn't grow up with him. I remember him from when I was a kid, but I moved away with my mom when I was very young. We left Pennsylvania, moved to town, Virginia. We lived there with Pete, my stepdad. My dad and I spoke a few times. When his phone number on a check was sent to us in the mail when I was 15, he was happy to hear from me and now calls me once a month and comes to visit me at college. He tells me things I don't remember. And people like Guy Hudson and Ernie Madsen. My dad and I get along, but we obviously aren't very close. Did you ever meet the Roottrees? I used to know the Roottrees, but never the sisters. I was in the office sometimes when I was a kid and definitely met Guy Hudson before he died, but I don't remember. We're going to go ahead and mark that under the Guy thing, because this is probably going to be connected to that. My memory is weird. It's hard to know what I actually remember and what I only think I do because I have pictures. For example, I have a photo from when I was 5, and in the office, and my dad and Guy was there. I made myself sick by eating chocolate, and some woman who I don't know cleaned my face. I don't know if my memories of that have come from the picture or not. The photo has been added to your evidence. How did you have proof of Ernie Madsen's heart condition? I knew Ernie had a heart problem because my dad told me on our phone. I asked him about the poison because I saw it on the Roottree Curse website, and then he emailed me some old stuff, including proof. But even with the proof, the website didn't take it down. I'm not good at spelling or writing. I'm good at painting and other art. I'm going to school to learn how to edit movies. I want to make cartoons someday. Lulu is much better at spelling. Okay, and the Roottree Curse thing has also been updated. Okay, during your initial search, you came across this conspiracy theory about the Roottrees. 8 months later, the page still exists and is thriving. Visitor count has reached 7 digits. Many older articles have been replaced. It seems that the recent uprising in Roottrees news has left Thomas Overwood with a constant stream of events to base new theories on. More than one of his theories involves Rootree deaths being faked. According to Overwood, statistically, when you have this many high-profile people who have died in a family, the odds that one of them has faked their death is just math. True. This newfound focus on death faking seems to coincide with a post mentioning that he's begun believing Guy's not dead. One of his posts details the belief that Ron Roottree is still involved. Gwen Roottree's death was faked, and that Clark is only there to throw people off. Apparently, this allowed Ron to travel to France to develop their new candy recipe in secret. Another's about the rapper 5 Piece. He can't possibly be a Roottree. One of his first albums, when he was performing under the devil name, actually mentioned that he wanted to have sex with Raina. Not even Sam Madsen is shared. According to Overwood, the author of 6 Pieces isn't real. Sam Madsen is an anagram for Am Madness. They're purposely leaving hints for us. He claimed that using 6 Pieces with Lauren Roottree's book as a one-time pad, he began to decrypt a cipher. Most of the cipher has seemed meaningless, but he managed to pick out the words people and vastness and is working to figure out what it means. There's also a quest at the bottom next to the year, or next year, 2000 is a leap year. Overwood is looking for funds and volunteers to catch the Roottrees red-handed in Operation RT-29. He specifically mentions not to volunteer if you've ever drunk Spirit Cola, but doesn't go into why. I'm going to guess that this is not going to be relevant yet. This page has not been updated. Okay. November Roottree was really difficult to place. Her occupation could only be found via Brian Jones's company website, so we can check to see November Roottree, see if we can find something new. No. Ronald and Robert Roottree go by Ron and Robbie. Both worked on Brother Trouble until Robbie embezzled money and fled to Paris. Ron unsuccessfully tried to have Robbie removed from the Clans of Trust. Okay, so maybe we should look at both of these again. Okay, so Ron has some articles in Business Watch. Okay, so let's make a new page about Ron Roottree stuff. I don't know if any of this is going to be relevant, but we'll throw it here anyway, just in case. 3 weeks ago, Ron's mother Gwen died in Paris, France. He and his brother Robbie have seemingly made amends. Okay, so let's do Robbie Roottree. Was released from French prison after serving title is Ron Robbie stuff. After serving a few years for assault, his embezzlement and arrest were partially featured in 6 Pieces, and have since become much more publicly infamous. He has not yet returned to the United States, but when journalists reached out to him recently after the death of his mother, issued a blanket statement a few days ago. The death of my mother was hard on our family. My brother and I, after spending time caring for her and mourning, finally made amends. It was a highly transformative few weeks when it came to our relationship. I'm in a recovery process for my addiction, and a major aspect of that process is that I wish to stay private. Okay, and then Business Watch had something about Ron Roottree, apparently. Ran an article about what really happened. The article mentions that nobody from Roottree that they reached out to was willing to go on record. Instead, the timeline events have been constructed from public record, accident leaks, and a source on the inside. The only parts that are new to you are also the most vague, the one supposedly confirmed by the anonymous source. Timeline says the family actually held a preliminary vote after Carl Roottree died, but before the release of Six Pieces, and decided they wanted Ron Roottree to take over because of his experience running RR Productions and because he is well known. Is anything new in RR Productions? If I look at this, oh, I meant to search that just to. But Ron seemed way too eager and personally motivated, and they were worried he would gut the Clansid Trust to remove Robbie Roottree. The family was notoriously unwilling to do anything that could risk their wealth. They stalled, and Ron became frustrated with the delay. When Six Pieces came out, he saw his chance to force action while the family was in the limelight. Released a press release himself in an attempt to get the ball rolling faster. This caused chaos. They tried to save face by allowing Ron to take over as co-president with Clark, but according to Business Watch's source, Ron was impossible to deal with. He seemed like he was unwilling to protect the Clansid Trust, and they eventually let him go. After that, the role passed solely to Clark, who nobody was excited about, but seemed like the safest choice. Okay. And then let's look for guys like us. It's a 1953 comedy film in which two secretaries cut their hair short and pose as businessmen to get ahead in life until one of them falls in love with their client, and hilarity ensues, starring all of these people, including their mothers. It's fairly popular at the box office and made it budget back, but was seen as somewhat formulaic, so it didn't really stand the test of time compared to other classic eras of the film. It was recently re-released for the first time on home video due to Roottreemania. The time it took to manufacture and ship the VHS copies meant that it missed the height of the craze, which only lasted a few weeks. Even so, it did do modestly well, enough to make rumors of a remake. This Augusta remake has been discussed a few times on a website about upcoming films called Move News. It's rumored cast as Cameron Diaz in the role originated by Gwen, Linda Fiorentino, and Chris O'Donnell. According to leaked news, the remake has been put on indefinite hiatus due to its director dropping out in wake of serious medical issue, although it's only a rumor. Let's see, are any of these people? I'm going to be surprised if Cameron Diaz is integral to the plot. But maybe one of these other people is. Chris O'Donnell might even be a real person. I don't know. Okay, well, no. I'll highlight the medical issue there part. Okay. Yeah, maybe I should Google Clansid Trust to see if anything. Let's see. This is all sort of a summary of what we already know. This book revealed this to the public. It didn't go over well. Clark took over the company. His most celebrated move. This is his first official one. He helped Sam make sure Sam would get their share. It's now under control of Ruby Legal Enterprises. Okay, so this can go under Ruby Sprat. We can mark this piece. Okay, we can go back here. Sam and her father were cryptically mentioned in a book about historical letters. That did happen. Do I remember what that book was called? No. Sounds like it's raining all of a sudden. A few dead ends and red herrings. Aloysius Roottree, who claimed he was a Roottree, wasn't. Family Man, a book about Elias, turned out to be propaganda and not useful. Carolyn Morton's sculptures were not useful. Okay. what is going on with Susie Ford? There's no way that it's actually that her name is Susie, right? No, that just feels like it's got to be, but we just don't have any information about it. We don't need that much more. Let's see the. No, I can switch. I didn't realize I could switch which one is there. Okay. Mary Beth Quaker's spouse. Why is this not showing up? Let's try that. I should have notes about this that I can link to. Oh, this is from the era when I didn't know about highlighting. Mary Beth, what's her name? Mary Beth Quaker. Okay, why did I... Did that really return nothing? I mean, I assuredly found something about her. Okay, where's the photo that this information came from? There we go. A woman named Regina Clementine came. Mary Beth Clementine. Wait, Stuart is the older boy wearing the vest. Okay, oh, I have a thing called Clementine stuff, I see. Two children in the late 1940s, Stuart and Mark. Been twice divorced, both times to her manager Sterling. Okay, so Sterling is probably one of the names. Okay, can I search Edison Sterling? Sorry, it's Sterling with an E. There we go. Okay, so got this bit. According to the website about the history of recorded sound, it's named after its founder, Sterling Edison, but maybe Sterling Edison wasn't the one who was actually the manager. Let's find a few references to New Edison and Mary Beth Clementine on the site. It's the Holy Grail is a re-release of the Old Rugged Cross, published before she legally changed her name to New Edison. Oh, this is the name of the site. Okay. Another site claims the police had to be called to New Western Records after its owner got in a physical altercation in public, leading to divorce. No cited sources or evidence. Site's content seems to be user submitted. Huh. Like, this all seems to point at this being the person who she split up with. But it has not locked it in, and we have the first name, last name. It's not the case that it's Edison Sterling, right? No. Sadly, we do not get to search for the court case about Thomas Edison. Oh, no, we do. Okay, sorry. One of the very first record labels. This seems very unimportant, except for potentially a lawsuit they filed in 1949. Website about lawsuits mentions that it is a fun case because the name of the lawsuit was actually the bigger problem for the person being sued. A record producer who called himself Edison was immediately outed as not actually being named Edison. Edsel was a German last name. At the time of the founding of the company, the USS Worth Germany, the company's founder immediately settled to try to get the case to go away, but the damage was done. I see. So his name was actually Edsel. I see. Okay. Sterling Edsel. There we go. Okay. That mystery has been solved. How on earth am I going to get to Bess Williams' children? Okay. You also have this bit with Mark Clementine, who we know has some problems. Smuggling reptiles. Okay, and this is, yeah, Mark Clementine. So there's... Oh, yeah, it's just that he was with someone who had children, but then they split up. Have we seen any evidence of who this person was? Okay, and we have the Portland Telegraph. Okay. His release and parole, but his freedom didn't go well. He was arrested in 1994 in San Diego for violating an attempt to visit his daughter's graduation. He famously punched the principal, a man named Billy Sims. The incidents received national press. Received his 15 minutes of fame in 1994 when he punched by this crocodile fellow. Put that in the Clementine stuff. Pretty much every news organization, from Trustworthy to Tabloid, seemed to have their own take on the altercation. It wasn't the punch that captured the nation's attention, however. It was Billy Sims' matter-of-fact response to the threat, and his comments afterwards, as heard from a now famous audio clip from someone who was recording the ceremony. Billy saw Mark hop onto the graduation stage and said, "Sir, you'll want to come sit down or we'll have a problem." At that point, Crocodile reportedly sucker punched him in the face. Billy, apparently only slightly dazed, said, "All right, sir, I guess we'll have a problem." Clementine tried to throw another punch, but Sims anticipated and performed a maneuver that the spectators described as a wrestling move mixed with a backward somersault, which immediately brought both men to the floor, with Sims straddling Clementine, keeping him neutralized. As security arrived, a recording captured someone asking, "How do you do that?" And Sims' response was famously, "Trust me, I'm as surprised as anyone." Sandstone Canyon High School. In San Diego. There's not much information about it, though it's mentioned in a lot of articles about the Billy Sims incident. Don't have a San Diego newspaper, I don't think. I don't think, okay, did I get anything from the Portland Telegraph? I'm guessing not. This is his name, Crocodile Clementine. Okay. But I want to get back to this bit about his daughter, because the bit about his daughter seems very relevant. How are we going to get anything out of this, though? That's the question. I don't know the answer, though. Oh, I can click show archived evidence. There we go. I was looking to remember some of these things, like the steamy correspondence thing. Letter ends on a mention of a twisted twin that seems to evoke imagery from classic literature. I don't remember how, or I don't, don't think this is relevant, but I wanted to remember what was the later book. So we know we've got A Life Between Wars. What was the later Lauren Rootree one? It was Revisiting the Diary, I think. Let's see if we can get something from that. No, that doesn't seem to be useful. Mark Clementine. How am I ever going to get down here? And how am I ever going to get down here? It sort of feels like this is something where I'm going to have to get down there by being given some additional information, which I presume I'm going to be after I lock in 4 more of these things. What was Susan Ford's most recent title? Oh, we do have all of this bit about flavor developments. So we've got... I am very suspicious. Ooh, this does it by page. I didn't even realize this did it by page. So it's telling me there's something interesting on this page. Which I would swear is that Susan Ford was hired under a special category. But we also have this, like, letters of the thing that, like, maybe the B and the C here are relevant somehow to children. Oh, this page has 3 things on it. Okay, that's very interesting. Susan Ford has been moved to office staff. Special Services Interpreter. Didn't think so, but it seems like worth checking. We've got Strawberry Zagua now added in here. Wait, is he doing, like, names of the women he had affairs with? No. Let's see. C and X both show up. And I don't have a B or anything like that. I don't know. The letters of the flavors, I feel like I'm supposed to do something with, but I don't know what it is yet. Especially the Zaguya, which... I wonder if I'm supposed to search for this. I am, apparently. Formerly Grandorf Dove is located about an hour from where the Roottrees offices used to be in Butler County, but it serves much of the Pennsylvania and nearby Ohio area. It's formerly Grandorf Dove because Grandorf was the last name of the founder, and Dove is the Danish word for deaf. The founder had issues with government translators, leading to an odd transcription issue. In 1990, it was renamed to better represent the school's purpose and to correct embarrassing lack of effort. Staff is listed on the website. You scan through all the biographies and find that the principal, Miss Ford, is fluent in 5 languages, including sign language. Has been working at the school for over 15 years. Bio also mentioned she's not deaf herself, but rather learned sign language to communicate with the deaf. It mentions she's responsible for securing funding for the Hudson Wing. Okay, so this we can throw in the We'll make a Susan Ford page. It's Ford. Okay, and that the knowing all the languages certainly clicks with that. Okay, Hudson Wing. Now an expansion to the Grandendorf School for the Deaf. First build in 1982. Separate, much smaller building, half a block from the main campus. There's a smaller independent school. Offers free ASL courses for children members, caretakers of deaf children. The history of the site, they got their name after the president of the Roottrees Company generously donated $250,000 towards the construction of the building. There's also a very vague history section that you can somewhat fill in the details from other information you've seen. The donation came at the insistence of an employee of Roottrees at the time and mentioned she learned ASL from the main school before the Hudson Wing even existed, to surprise her future husband, who was deaf. After realizing how useful a service like this could be to non-deaf people that wish to better serve those with hearing issues, she convinced the Roottrees to invest in the school. The wing opened and she became the first teacher at the new campus. At first, only operated on weekends, but since then they've added afternoon and some weekday classes. Okay, so she's now a school principal. Is, I guess, what we now know. Okay, we should maybe be able to dig up more from this now that we have this. Okay, this does appear in here. Okay, so the School for the Deaf near Butler and is regularly listed in articles with other local schools. It seems to be an endless list of snow cancellations, extracurricular activities, and weekend events that began over 70 years ago and stretched until the last mentioned 1990. Amongst the avalanche of useless information, you almost miraculously discover one useful article. This is the Center of a Crime article from 1982. It seems that someone defaced the school and vehicles of the brand new Hudson Wing of the school. There are multiple broken windows, and one of the teacher's cars was painted with profanities and accusations of infidelity. A few weeks later, a follow-up article provided more details. There's one arrest, Thomas Hughes, who was coincidentally a former student at the school. Apparently, the destruction came weeks after he married the school's newest teacher, Mrs. Hughes. She was not a teacher when he went. He graduated a few years earlier. According to the reporter's investigation into the police reports and restraining orders, Mr. Hughes was convinced that he was not the father of Mrs. Hughes' current pregnancy. Was released on bail, and the school has agreed not to press criminal charges after an agreement made for damages and for the couple to begin their divorce proceedings. It seems that Thomas Hughes, Mrs. Hughes, and the Hudson Wing have all avoided further appearances in the Butler County Times. Okay, so this is going to be Thomas Hughes. Oops. Okay, so Thomas Hughes. I think it just told me that I'm not going to find anything, but nothing relevant. Former student at the school. This is Hughes. So, am I supposed to search for Susan Hughes? No. Okay. There's no other newspapers that this could possibly even be relevant in, I don't think. Wonder if I should search for the new name of the school as well. What was the name of... Yeah, because they've mentioned... Yeah, they've basically told us in the other article, if I... Oops, look back at my notes. That they changed the name of it, which is why... presumably it stops getting mentioned here. What? No? Oh. There we go. Okay, there's like that. Surely that has to be the right thing. Okay, this has made a few odd appearances here and there since 1990. It's not too many that you can't look at all of them, and so after scrolling through a few pages, you managed to find something incredibly useful in an article that isn't even focused on the school itself. Local students provide key evidence in scientific study. An article from March of this year mentions that the Ford sisters, who attended the public school in Butler County, are one of only a handful of identical twins in the world who suffer from two different genetic issues. One of them has asthma, and the other has a deadly allergy to peanuts. Their mother, a Mrs. Susie Ford, who is the principal at the nearby Grandorf School for the Deaf, was originally contacted by researchers looking to identify if there were any sets of twins where one was born deaf and the other was not. While she didn't have any twins attending the school, she asked if her daughters, Melissa and Heather, could be useful, and it turns out they were. She says, they couldn't be more different. My youngest, we call her that even though it's only by about 15 minutes, is shy, but essentially hasn't stopped running from the moment she learned to scamper. Asthma has kept her sister off the soccer field, but she's the definition of an extrovert. Is even performing in a local production of Is Their Life After High School later this year. The article includes a picture of the girls added to your evidence. Okay, let's... accompanied by a scientific study. On the left is holding an inhaler, and the twin on the right is holding an EpiPen. Okay, so we know these are both women. They're both last name Ford, I presume. Okay, the youngest is the one... okay, so the older one is the one that has asthma. And the younger one is the other one. They are... okay, they... is their life after high school? Okay, let's highlight this. School drama clubs. If you couldn't tell by now, a game designer by the name of Jeremy Johnson was in musical theater all 4 years of high school. There's one song from it that surpassed the popularity of the rest, called The Kid Inside. If you'd like to listen to it, I recommend Barry Manilow's version. If you've heard the song before, it's likely that cover. The entire musical deals with the traumas and nostalgia of the society collectively shares about their formative years. It feels appropriately thematic for the game. I thought of it as somewhat ironic that they have high school theater clubs perform it, though. Anyway, the key word in Butler Times article was local. The cast list mentions some names, including a Heather Ford. Their names are, one of them is Heather. Okay, which one is it that's Heather? That will, so it's the older one who is in the play. So this one is Heather. And she's a K-12 student. Okay, and then I swear we said the names of both of them. But maybe we didn't. Melissa. There we go. Okay, this is Melissa. Ford, presumably also a K-12 student. Okay. I think that's good. I think we've locked in all of this, although I'm quite concerned by the whole... Wait, did I do the flipping the older and younger thing again? Because the older one should be on the left. Yeah, I just absolutely need to flip both of these. So you should be this one. You should be the other one. You should be Heather. Let me be sure before I end the episode that I click the other one back. Okay, we got Edsel Sterling, Thomas Hughes, Brian Jones. Okay, let's see that.
Hey there, it's us. So I just have to say, the work you're doing here is fantastic.
So fantastic, in fact.
There goes Clark. Always the bad cop. Go ahead.
Well, our law firm, Ruby Legal Enterprises, is having trouble keeping up. They're actually begging us to stop submitting new root trees. They said it's getting difficult to verify your progress.
Well, consider that a good thing. I told Clark you'd get results.
She says that like I didn't believe her. Regardless, the bad news is it's going to take 5 potential tree additions before anyone locks in from now on. Good luck.
And keep up the good work.
Oh, no. I was hoping they would give me something more. Okay, let's, this is Melissa. Okay. Well, we are going to wrap up the episode there for today, having almost, but not quite, finished handling all of the pieces of this particular affair. I have no idea, literally no idea, where we're going to get any clue that will get us into either of these pieces, but we'll have to figure that out next time. So thank you all for watching. I hope you're having fun, and I'll be back next time. Bye for now.